So Disney then, let's go to Disney. Disney have got lots of brands, haven't they? But they haven't, because they always keep the Disney brand. I mean, even the ABC television group does have the Disney connection. So Disney is very clever. They do know about feelings, they do evoke those feelings. Anyone know the current Disney advert? Seen the current Disney advert with a dad, teenage daughter? So the advert, for those of you who haven't seen it, the teenage... By the way, I was going to try and get the video clip for you tonight. Can't get it anyway. So that's interesting, isn't it? Disney won't let that get out there. The dad is with his teenage daughter. She's a bit embarrassed. Can't be with dad anymore. You know, you don't be seeing the dad when you're a teenager. Dad says we're going to Disney. Teenage girl goes to Disney with dad, has a fab time, loves being with dad in Disney because it's not embarrassing being with dad in Disney. Dad has lovely memories and lovely feelings about spending that special time with his teenage daughter before she flies the nest and goes off to uni. I know that feeling. I've done it myself. My daughter has just finished uni this summer. Whee! Even better, she's had a job this week. Whee! So we did Disney when she was 16. The reason we did Disney at 16 was because I thought she would want to go with us again. And let's be honest, Disney sell us this. Oh yeah. The Disney love. And you see the brochure and you go, oh, this is great. Everyone's smiling. Great. It's fun. I love it. Fun. It's got to be great, hasn't it? So the feeling we get when we consider going to Disney, if you've got kids, you go, I want to go to Disney. This is the feeling you get. This is reality. But you know what? That might be the reality. But at no point when we talk about Disney in our family do we ever talk about, we're waiting in that really long queue. No, we don't. Disney gives us those great feelings. And those great memories. We have those memories of, anyone been to Disney by the way? Disney World? Paris? Yeah? Florida? Yeah? It's a small world after all. Oh yes, anyone who's been to Disney knows it's a small world after all. When my daughter was 4, the first trip we did to Disney, we did the little boat ride round to It's a Small World After All. If you've never done it, if you've never seen it, please go. You should also be traumatised. We get off, and I'm thinking, God, that was quite bad. And my daughter goes, again. Really? Yeah, again. Okay. So we do the queue 24 times in a long weekend. I did. It's a small world, after all. I could sing it to you, but I won't inflict it. I might be Welsh, but I can't sing. But I don't care, because you know what? She smiled every time we went on it. She loved every moment of it. When she was 16, I made her go on it. We laugh about it still, she always says. And every now and again, you know, when things are not going quite so well in life, and she'll just look at me and she goes, it's a small world, you know, after all. Yeah, it is. So Disney aren't stupid. They know that we won't remember this because their attention to detail is amazing. They get things so right. Their people are fab. It's very rare you get a bad person in Disney. I've seen a blog post this week about somebody complaining about a bad experience in Disney. I know he's been compensated by Disney already. Okay, so they may sometimes get it wrong, but not very often. Their communication is great. It's amazing, to be honest with you. You really can't fault them on anything. But they do know that you are connected to feelings. Their current advert proves that. If you look back through all of the adverts, they're all based on feelings. However, do you remember I said to you sometimes it works? Like with the soap, sometimes it doesn't. It has a negative impact. Net mums. Anyone a net mums member? Please tell me no. But anyway, net mums at the moment are absolutely up in arms about that Disney advert. And the reason they're not happy about it is because A, it suggests teenage girls will only have fun if they've got a dad on board. You know, single mums, not happy about it. The other thing they're not happy about is it suggests that the only way of having good memories of your kids is to spend a lot of money and go to Disney. And not everyone can afford it. I get that too. So I get their argument. But you know what? Disney don't care. Because they know that it's those feelings that will make us want to go there again and again. So we forget the cute, don't we? That is something you don't see at Disney. Ever. There's no rubbish. It is very clean. I love it. I think it's great. The bin story comes about when I first started doing consultancy work and working with business startups. I had a contract in Wales that I worked with the long-term unemployed people who wanted to start a business. I had a team of consultants and we used to go out and about and work with them and do workshops and all sorts. But I met a guy called Daz. Now Daz was one of those ones that sticks with you forever. You know, you meet some people and you just can't ever shake them out of your head. I have tried to find Daz since to see how things are going, but I haven't been able to, unfortunately. But anyway, Daz came to me and he said, I'm going to start my own business. And I said, that would be great, Daz, what's it going to be? And he said, I'm going to clean bins. And I said, don't think we need that, Daz, that's not really a business, you know, I think we find the council doing that. And he said to me, no, Rebecca, you're not getting it. You're really not getting it. He said, what I'm going to do is I'm going to clean people's wheelie bins. Now, this was about 14 years ago, and I just went, wow. Now, I'm from a rural part of Wales. Now, if you've seen rural Wales, think more rural than that, okay? My nearest train station is 45 minutes drive, if there's no tractors. And if Menna, who owns the garage, decides to just put petrol in my car and not chat. Menna, who owns the garage, by the way, still puts petrol in your car. You're not allowed to touch the petrol pumps at Menna's garage. She's a star. If you want to know what's happening in town, you go to Menna. She's one of those people. She's fab. She's not the cheapest for petrol. I wouldn't dare not go to her. You know, the brand thing goes completely to put with Menna. It's nothing to do with that. She'll say, I saw you going out the other day, but you've had no petrol for ages. So she's 4p more, but I'll still go to Menna. However, in rural Wales, I live on a farm. I clean my own bins. You see, we pull them into the yard, you clean the tractors, you clean the bins, and you clean the stables all in one go. You don't care about anything else, like, you know, where's the rubbish going to go, where's this going to go? You've got a farm, all right? So I said to Dad, I'm not really getting the whole bin thing. He goes, yes, Rebecca, in towns. I tell you now, he said to me, they have wee bins, they pull them out onto the streets, and when they've emptied them, they smell. And people don't like smell, and it turns their stomach. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say to them, does your bin turn your stomach? I'll fix it for you. I said, all right, and Daz, give it a go, mate. Daz made a very successful business from cleaning the bins, because all he did was he followed around the bin lorry, and when they'd emptied it, his jet washers on the back of his van would clean them, it'd smell good, he knew how to do it. He provided a really good service, but the only thing that Daz knew about selling or marketing or business was that to get people to buy from him, he had to make them feel they needed it. And so all his marketing was a little card that said, does your bin turn your stomach? Let me fix it for you. And that was it. You didn't need to tell them how much it was or anything else, because you already go, yeah, it does actually. So that was his bins. He was really, really good, Daz, at understanding that it was about trust. It was no good saying he would come and clean your bin on bin day if he didn't come until 2 days after you to put your next lot of rubbish in. There's no point. I really think that Daz knew that it was about the people, because when he started recruiting, he recruited lads just like him, long-term unemployed, who wanted to try and make it work for them. They were committed. Now, they weren't exactly, you know, the brightest lads. They hadn't been to business school, but they did know that to keep customers happy, you have to be nice to them. That was it. So they were fab people. The communication was very, very simple, very, very basic. He didn't make it fussy. Everything was great. You trusted him. You trusted his brand because you knew he'd come. So the bin's a really, really simple one, because, let's be honest, most of the brands that we meet, they're a bit closed for business, aren't they? I meet a lot of consultants. I meet a lot of small business owners. And they don't make it very easy to do business with them. They really don't. They have got the most lovely business cards. And they've even spent money on their websites. But when you try and actually do business with them, wow, it's hard. And that's the problem. Because the frou-frou stuff means nothing if you don't work with people so that they continue to trust and love you and like your brand. Because if I've started to think that you're good and you're going to look after me and then you let me down, I'm really not going to be very happy. So Gemma made me feel good, Sarah let me down. I don't like it. It makes me feel bad. You see, when we make decisions, we let the information come in. And usually, with the information that's come in, what we have to do is decide whether or not it's relevant to us or not relevant to us. And then we start to compare it. Do we understand it compared to something else we've had similar or not similar? So, when you're putting in a tender, or a bid, or an expression of interest, or a quote, or whatever it is, those people who get that information have got to make a decision based on that information you've given them. Or are they? Because I don't think they do. They might have a scoring system, but they're still making decisions based on gut feelings, or just feelings, or just emotions. And sometimes you've got no control over that because it depends how they feel that day. But when you're writing that bid, that tender, that quote, start thinking, how do these people want to feel? What do they want to feel if they use me? What if they've worked with somebody else like me before, but they felt let down by them? And let's be honest, how many of you have been to clients and they've said, we've had a consultant in before, by the way. They weren't very good. Just been working with a new client recently, and the first thing the MD said to me was, you're not like the last consultant we had. Oh, God. And you already know you're onto a loser, aren't you? And I said, I'll tell you what, if I am, you can fire me. And he said, oh, all right then. He did say to me about 3 weeks ago, you're not quite like the other consultant, you're still here. I quite like it. He's all right. Because you know what? He gets it. He gets the fact that he doesn't know what I'm doing. He doesn't get the frou-frou. He doesn't get all of the stuff. But he knows that the problem their business has got is that their people are great, but they're not telling people about it. So what we need to do is match it all up. It's really, really simple. See, branding isn't that difficult. A lot of the time with emotions that we give people, they come into two different factors. They either repel them or they work. You work with them and you move them towards a decision of agreement with you. The repelling emotions with brand are, your brand doesn't get me. You know, we can see certain adverts, certain marketing campaigns, and we think that brand doesn't get me. It's not me. That's okay. Sometimes we can look at stuff, and I know, having looked at a load of bids recently from consultants for a big project I'm involved with in Wales, that some of the consultants, when they put their information in, they put their tenders in, I don't think they got what we wanted. They hadn't really read what we wanted. They hadn't realised that what we wanted was for them to go and work with small charities. And so the examples they'd given me of working with huge, big customers meant nothing. I didn't feel that they were going to understand the people they were going to work with. So therefore they might be good, but I don't know that. So now I feel a bit unsure. But if there's somebody else who shows that they do know, what are we going to do? So with feelings, sometimes it's about the fact that you don't think somebody's going to get you. The other one, of course, is the venue, the Gemma, the Sarah experience. They've just irritated me. They've just annoyed me. They've made me feel stupid for trusting them. I ain't going to go there again. So the driving forward emotions, you know, I'd like to be connected to your brand. So we've got connecting brands sometimes. So sometimes the best way for us as consultants, I'm sure a lot of you do this already, is that we can tell clients, you know, I've worked with this brand and that brand and that brand. And it's easier, isn't it, to give them brands that you know that they'll have heard of. So on the whole, they tend to be the bigger brands. But if you're selling to small brands, that's not helpful. So just explain it a bit more. It's not that difficult. So people want to feel that you're going to help them. On the whole, people don't invite you in for a beauty parade and want you to fail. We've all done the beauty parades of consultants coming in. They kind of want you to be good. So help them. Help them with it. Don't forget your brand connects to emotions. Oh, hold on. So, communication, people, and brand. That's for me what embodies business. I might be wrong, I might be right, but so far it seems to be working. One last question for you. What could you do tomorrow that would help people understand better about your brand? What could you do to help people realise that they want to connect to your brand? Because we already accepted, didn't we? You're already shit hot at what you do. So all you need to do now is get them to connect to your brand.